Most of your setbacks in life come from what you say, not what you hear. And most of your breakthroughs, they come from listening, not speaking. Your mouth, as powerful as it is, can be your worst enemy. But your ears, they are your greatest ally. Think about it. How many times have words you've spoken come back to haunt you? A harsh comment in anger, a boast that fell flat, an ill-timed joke that wounded someone you care about. Words have power. They create, destroy, inspire, and divide. But then, they can also entrap you. A careless word is like a stone thrown into still water. It ripples far beyond what you intended. Your ears, though, are your gateway to wisdom. The things you truly learn and understand don't come from your own voice echoing in the air. They come from quiet moments of listening. Listening to others. Listening to the world around you. And most importantly, listening to yourself in the silence between your thoughts. Here's the irony. We live in a world that celebrates speaking. Talking is seen as strength, sharing your opinions, voicing your ideas, defending your position. And sure, there's value in speaking when it's thoughtful, intentional, and necessary. But most of us talk far more than we should. We rush to fill silences, afraid they'll expose us. But silence doesn't expose you. It reveals the truth. Listening, on the other hand, is undervalued. It's seen as passive, weak. Yet listening is where the real power lies. When you listen, you gather information. You gain perspective. You build understanding. Listening lets you anticipate, adapt, and grow. Speaking is an output. Listening is an input. And life is won or lost in the inputs. Here's the paradox. The more you talk, the less you learn. And the less you learn, the more foolish your words become. But the less you speak, the more you listen. And the more you listen, the wiser your words grow when you do choose to speak. It's a cycle, a balance. But most of us tip it in the wrong direction. Why? Because talking feels good. It feels powerful. It lets us feel in control. But it's a false power. True power comes not from controlling the conversation, but from understanding it. And you can only understand if you listen. Now there's another layer to this. Your mouth often acts as a shield. We use words to protect ourselves, defend our ego, justify our actions, or fill the void when we feel vulnerable. But those shields can quickly become weapons, hurting others or even ourselves. Your mouth can talk you into trouble faster than your actions ever could. And here's the kicker. Once words leave your mouth, you can't take them back. You can apologize, explain, or clarify, but the damage is done. Contrast that with listening. When you listen, you're not just hearing words, you're decoding emotions, intentions, and truths. Listening creates connection. It shows respect. And it gives you the tools to respond, not react. Responses come from wisdom. Reactions come from impulse. Wisdom builds bridges. Impulse burns them. Here's a practice that can shift everything. Speak less and listen more. Make a conscious effort. In every conversation, every argument, every moment of conflict, pause. Hold your tongue. Resist the urge to interrupt, to defend, to prove. Instead, lean in. Open your ears. Ask yourself, what am I missing here? What truth lies beneath the surface? When you start listening more, something remarkable happens. People notice. They trust you more. They feel heard. And that trust opens doors. Personally, professionally, spiritually. Listening is your bridge to the hearts and minds of others. And when you pair listening with measured, intentional speaking, your words carry weight. They mean something. There's wisdom in an old saying. A wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool speaks because he has to say something. Ask yourself, every time you're about to speak, do I need to say this? Will it help? Or am I just filling space? Now, let's talk about listening to yourself. Your ears aren't just tools for external sounds. They're a channel inward. Your intuition, your inner voice. These are whispers, not shouts. You can only hear them if you silence your outer voice. Quiet your mind, and you'll discover insights you never knew you had. Here's the ultimate takeaway. Your mouth can trap you in conflict, misunderstandings, and regret. But your ears can set you free. They open the door to wisdom, understanding, and growth. They let you connect deeply, with others and with yourself. So, choose wisely. Speak when it matters, and listen always. Your mouth is your worst enemy, but your ears, they're your best ally. The choice is yours. Every day, you have countless opportunities to either speak or listen. And in those moments of decision, remember, your greatest growth, your deepest connections, and your most profound insights will come not from what you say, but from what you hear. And in those moments when you find yourself at a crossroads between speaking and listening, pause. Take a breath. Let wisdom guide your choice. And you'll find that the path of listening leads to places your words alone could never take you. Speaking can lead to regret and conflict, while listening fosters wisdom, understanding, and connection. Speak less, listen more, and let silence reveal truth. The beauty of this wisdom lies in its simplicity. We all have the tools, our mouths, and our ears, but it's how we choose to use them that shapes our journey. When we embrace listening over speaking, we don't just avoid pitfalls, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of life itself. And perhaps most importantly, this understanding isn't just theoretical, it's transformative. When we truly grasp the power dynamic between speaking and listening, we begin to navigate our relationships, our work, and our inner dialogue with newfound clarity and purpose. The journey from being someone who speaks first to someone who listens first is profound. It's a path that requires constant mindfulness and practice, a daily commitment to pause before speaking, to create space for understanding rather than rushing to fill silence. This transformation begins with small moments, choosing to ask questions instead of making statements, allowing others to finish their thoughts completely before responding, and learning to sit comfortably in the quiet spaces of conversation. Consider how often our natural instinct is to speak from a place of defense or desire for validation. We rush to share our experiences, to prove our knowledge, or to demonstrate our worth through words. Yet true strength often lies in the ability to hold back, to create space for others' voices, and to absorb wisdom from unexpected sources. This practice of intentional listening doesn't just change our conversations, it reshapes our entire perspective on human connection. The art of listening extends beyond mere conversation. It's a fundamental shift in how we process and interact with the world around us. When we truly embrace the power of our ears over our mouth, we begin to notice subtle cues we once missed. The unspoken emotions in a colleague's voice, the hidden wisdom in a child's simple observation, or the deeper meaning behind a friend's casual remark. These insights, gathered through careful listening, become the building blocks of deeper empathy and more meaningful relationships. There's a remarkable paradox in this dynamic. The less we speak, the more weight our words carry when we do choose to use them. By cultivating the discipline of thoughtful listening, we naturally develop a more refined sense of when and how to contribute to conversations. Our words become more purposeful, more impactful, and more aligned with the needs of the moment, rather than our own desire to be heard. The practice of prioritizing listening over speaking also has profound implications for personal growth and self-awareness. In the quiet spaces between words, we often find our most valuable insights about ourselves. These moments of receptive silence allow us to process our thoughts more deeply, to question our assumptions more honestly, and to align our actions more authentically with our values.